Today we are cooking on the world's most expensive residential charcoal oven, and it's only fitting that we cook the world's most expensive A5 Wagyu steak. We got it ripping, baby. This is the Ember House charcoal oven. The original founder and owner of Kamado Joe has since moved on and created this. He definitely obviously has a passion for charcoal cooking. These type of ovens we've only really seen in commercial grade settings. So a lot of the finest steakhouses you'll go to across the world cook in a real charcoal oven. This is finally brought to the residential area. So this is an oven that you can build into an outdoor kitchen. If you're building it in an outdoor kitchen, you want like a 7-inch downgrade so your countertops are almost gonna sit flush right here. They are coming out with stands. They are in prototypes right now that will sort of match the oven finish. We don't have that yet. This oven's almost 400 pounds. So we needed a stand to set it on. The only thing I had heavy duty enough to support it is my Yoder Santa Maria style oven. So it is setting on another grill. Just to put in perspective how heavy duty that charcoal oven is, this is our Vermont Castings Defiant Encore solid cast iron wood stove. Same weight. That is the heaviest outdoor appliance I've ever seen. This is all Cerakote finishing on the sides and the front, and it comes in 10 different color choices. This is different than a powder coat. It has like a much smoother like feel to it, so much more durable. And then all of the accessories have PVD finishing. So that's like an anti-scratch resistant. It's using, you're from the automotive industry. Are both of those finishes used in automotive?
I know Cerakote is.
Cerakote for sure is. I know like premium watches, that type of finish is, that scratch resistant type material. So this is our chimney top. And honestly, like even the way this sits on, it just sort of like glides. Air intake is here. So wide open is gonna be just sort of let it rip. We can close these off to certain settings and then really dial it in with our knob control. It just, again, it's just got a nice, I don't even know how to describe it. Even the charcoal ashtray. I mean, I don't know what this thing it weighs, but I mean, look at the gauge steel on that. 316 stainless steel throughout this whole grill, almost 400 pounds of stainless steel. 316 is marine grade, so this thing is absolutely bulletproof. It's the type of stainless steel that's used on yachts. So we got a nice little pins action door, gasket material here. Here are our cooking trays. So we got 316 laser cut trays. Oh my gosh. So here's some deflectors. So this is gonna be, we're gonna put these deflectors in if we're gonna cook over the charcoal and then not cook over direct flame. So like, let's say we wanted to do temp control and go low and slow, we would set these in. That way we don't have direct fire over our, and then our cooking grates over this. Or if we wanna go direct fire on one side, we can take this side off and cook over open flame here. 7 settings, okay? Heavy duty gasket material, and then see the gap here between the stainless steel and in here. So that's all insulated. So they're saying this is insulated so well that it can hold temp and you can cook on the same batch of charcoal for 24 hours. We got cast iron grates there and then stainless here. Oh my gosh. So it does come with an extra set of racks. Again, heavy duty stainless steel. So we got one set of laser cut, one set of deflectors, and then this rack system here. So let's say we took our deflectors out, we could have 2 racks of food going at the same time, cooking over open fire. The #1 obstacle we have when it comes to selling grills is what?
Price.
I was gonna say wives.
Oh, well, that ties directly into it, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this helps hurdle that obstacle, because mama's gonna be happy with this. There's no doubt about it. So Tony's our pit master here at Embers.
So today we're gonna fire this up with all natural lump charcoal. So all natural lump is just wood itself. This is a blend of hickory and oak woods that have been kilned and dried with no additives, anything like that. So this is designed to burn very fast, but very clean and naturally. So great for searing. You can also smoke on it. We're actually gonna drop some pecan chips in here too for some flavoring with that chicken.
Yeah. What's the draw of cooking on charcoal?
Flavor all out.
This is like the extra details that are gonna be important, especially for like holding temp. I recognize this from my years of selling wood stoves, but see this little lip here? This is just welded on, so it gets a nice tight seal up and behind the gasket there.
Fire starters here. Nice, easy way to get it going. And that's another beautiful thing about this lump charcoal is very simple to light. As we know, gas does a great job of actually cooking the proteins themselves, but there's no flavor infusion.
Yeah.
So this is a labor of love. You're getting, obviously it's a little bit more time consuming, but there's no way to replicate the flavor that's gonna come off of this.
Yes. We're gonna show off the versatility we can do with these cooking grates. So we're gonna put in one heat deflector plate, one cooking grate, and some cooking grates to go above it.
So we just took out the spine of the bird and just flip it over, push down and break the breastbone. Gonna lay nice and flat like there for even cooking. So our dark meat and our white meat are almost at the same height. So they should be finishing hopefully right around the same time.
Can't believe it's not butter.
I know, right?
A little margarine, huh?
Yeah. It's a binder and it's also gonna help the skin to just brown up.
Garlic jalapeno rub.
That's right. It's a nice pretty color. It just gives it that little bit of spotting. So you're getting pepper, some heat.
So the idea is once we close this lid, it's gonna start pulling oxygen here, which is really gonna start adding heat to that box, and it's basically pulling oxygen this way, and then it should start evenly cooking this way. So we should have even temps throughout the entire firebox. This is the only spot we have smoke leaking out, and that's the only spot we want it to. Like, if we were seeing issues on the store or anything like that, that would kind of show to the construction of it, right, Tony?
Yep.
So the fact that this is so well sealed, there's so much thermal mass in here, those stainless steel lining is like this thick. So it's gonna take a while to get to temp, but once it gets to temp, it's just gonna sit there and hold temp like forever. This is like A5. This is Japanese Wagyu. This is like a $300 steak. I think it's only fitting on a $15,000 oven that would cook a $300 steak, right?
I would agree. Look at that, those striations. That's unbelievable.
Only in Japan. They make the best. They forge golf clubs, make great steaks, made Nintendo. So you can see it's starting to cook up nice. Tony's telling us there's a few tells. What are our tells, Tony? Start splitting like that?
Yeah, start to split a little bit. You'll start to see some browning on the skin. You can see as we get higher in the oven, the temperature's going up where the tips of the wings are starting to get really brown. But a nice tell on chicken when you know it's done is this tendon here will break, and then it'll start to expose bone right down there at the drumstick between this area here and where the foot would have resided.
A little margarine spritz. A little trade secret. All right. Let's throw on those Wagyus.
Hear that sizzle?
Oh, and they're Wagyu, so they're just gonna, they're gonna go.
All right, shut her down, Trev. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, Nelly.
I mean, that's some real deal cooking right there, Tony.
See those sear marks?
Yeah. And we were a little ginger with this thing on the way we were setting up our charcoal bed. This thing's heavy duty enough. It can take a fire.
This feels cool to the touch. There's nothing.
Holy cow.
It feels cold on the outside.
It's not even warm.
No.
They're done.
They are done.
Yeah, let's pull them. Because the one thing you cannot do is overcook Wagyu. Right, Tony?
I wouldn't.
No. All right, let's let those rest.
That looks pretty good. What do you
got
think? Yeah, I got it. The next time I would do it, I would move that top rack down a notch.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize just how much convection was in that thing.
Let's try this fatty end. A lot of charcoal flavor in it.
Charcoal flavor, yeah, that's what we wanted. Any pecan. Cooked perfectly, look at that. Nice medium rare. Again, a nice medium rare. I mean, the knife's just
going right through that. Oh, yeah. Getting the charcoal flavor, the fat.
It's like a little bit of everything.
Little-
That's like a restaurant.
That's better than a restaurant.
The charcoal, that dry heat, gives it like a dry, charcoaly crunch on the outside. And that sear, you can tell, locks in all the flavor.
That's phenomenal.
You taste the charcoal?
Holy crap. Yeah.
That's the best steak we've ever cooked here.
One of the best steaks I've ever eaten. I mean, look how juicy that is.
Holy cow. Oh my God. That is so... I kind of like that better. Oh my gosh. You guys gotta try that.
I'm gonna just dig into this thigh meat. That's always my favorite. You look at that wing, how brown and perfectly that was done there.
This is so juicy.
So I'm just gonna check out this breast meat here.
Wow, that breast meat looks good even too.
That looks pretty good. Give that a whirl. So you've had the dark meat. Try the.
Try it with the skin.
Again,
That is the juiciest chicken breast I've ever had.
I'd eat that all day.
I'm usually a steak guy over chicken, but that chicken's insane.
Isn't that good? Would you say that's one of the better pieces of chicken you've had?
For sure.
I know, Alex, your head's running through models we have of how you can start cooking with charcoal at home. Mm-hmm. Is it?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Dude, forget cooking steaks, man. I'm not just saying this, but that is the best chicken I've ever had. We're not trying to say you got to go out and buy a $15,000 oven to have food taste that good. That's just not what we're getting after. But if you're designing an outdoor kitchen and you want a nice charcoal piece that's really not gonna, I think a lot of the problem, Tony, wouldn't you agree with the Kamados and some of the standalone grills is they don't flow into an outdoor kitchen very well a lot of times.
Correct.
This is gonna give you the aesthetic and the performance of, like Tony was saying. I mean, this is shocking to me that the inside of this fire oven's probably more than 700, probably 900 to 1,000, and then this is, it's not even warm. Like, it's not even warm. That's crazy. That's how well insulated this thing is and how well it's temp. And what I'm about to show you in here, I think what's really fun about this is you don't have to ever worry about overfiring this oven. I don't think you'd have any warping, or you can just go, you can do whatever the heck you want in this thing.
And that was one of the things we realized having cooked on it today. We kind of babied it to start, and then we realized the mass of this,
you don't need to baby it.
No,
It's like a wood
designed
stove.
to make big boy fires.
But I mean, you can see when they use the expression white hot, that's what they're talking about. Look at those coals. That is white hot. You could do pizzas on here. You can obviously sear steaks on here. You can go low and slow. Like, it's a full smoker. Like, we do awesome stuff with Yoder and everything like that, but none of it integrates visually awesome with an outdoor kitchen. It's an obstruction. This will flow perfectly if you want it to be seamless and be a perfect aesthetic.
I was kind of skeptical about just how good of a,
Like spending that kind of money on it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive.
This could be, but after cooking with it and having fun with it and utilizing it and tasting the food, honestly, if I had that kind of money, it would be, to me, a no-brainer.
You have to have it.
Yeah, I
Tate,
mean,
how's that chicken? Speechless. Or is your mouth just full? You want me to write you one up? Just awesome. Awesome.